Hey guys, I'm back. So I wanted to show y'all how to upload. I know I sent y'all the Balfour video, but I don't know how easy or hard that video is to look at. So since I know most of y'all have been able to view my YouTube videos, I'm going to go ahead and show you my way how to do what they were showing you in the Balfour video. So when I want to import pictures, if I go to this little cloud down here in the bottom right corner of the screen, I click the little cloud and then I can click upload a file. You can sometimes drag and drop. It was working for me at the school to drag and drop, but it isn't working on my computer at home. So you might be able to just go into your file and select them and throw them into the screen when you're in this area. But it hasn't been working for me. You know what? It might work from the dashboard. So let's try that. So here is my file with all of my pictures that I want to do. As you notice, for some reason on this computer, it doesn't want to do it. So instead I can do it from here. Upload file. I just click the little arrow, and then it lets me actually find the files this way. And so I just click on the first one, and then I hold down the shift key and I select the last one. If there were, for some reason, pictures I did not want to upload, you could delete those first, or there is a slightly more complicated method using the control key that I could show you in person if you want me to. So then I click and it starts uploading. I'm gonna stop the video and then I will show you the next part in a minute. Okay guys, I don't know how long that took, but you might rewind and just see what time it was when it ended, when I ended the video just a minute ago. So the next step is I go over to the little settings cog in the far left. So I do my initial cloud upload on the right, and then I go over here to the left. I go to my uploads folder, and mine actually is kind of down here right now. But then I actually again click on my uploads, and apparently it's remembered what I wanted to do. And then I actually again click on the first one, then I hold down the shift key and click on the last one, so it gives me all of them. And then I go into my content folder, which I should have actually done that first because now I'm going to have to go back and do that again. And what I do is I always put them in unlogged. It's kind of down here at the bottom, so I'm thinking about maybe creating a folder that'll be at the very top, because it does make it kind of hard to see when you're uploading. But for now, they're going in the uncatalogued folder. And there we go. And then I just grab them, and of course it moved it. Why wouldn't it move it? That would just be too easy if it didn't move it. I grab it and I go over to the uncatalogued, and then I literally drop it until it's upload all 60 of the photos. On wired desktops, it does tend to move faster. I am working on Wi-Fi, which slows it down a little bit, so that may be part of the issue. But the cloud upload typically takes the longest. This part doesn't take as long, but it is a little bit of a process. Unfortunately, it seems that the StudioWorks Go sort of requires you to do sort of a double upload, which I don't really understand why it forces you to do that. It seems a little silly, but I don't make the software. So once I have uploaded it, so it's going to continue to upload so I can do other stuff. I don't have to sit here and watch this at all. And it will, I have it selected so that it'll close when it's finished. You can, you don't have to worry about that at all. So let's say I want to go to what is this? This is my table of contents. I want to edit my table of contents. So I'm going to go into my edit screen. I'm going to click on it. I am going to drag in image box, which we've talked about how to place templates and everything. But for now, let's just say I've got an image and I want to show y'all how to actually edit an image. You can do photos as backgrounds, by the way. So it's going to be a little bit slow. I'm going to pause the video while it thinks about how to upload. That thankfully didn't take as long as some of the other stuff. So I've dropped this one in. This one is taken at an angle. So I was talking with this about a student. Now, like I said, there are no rules that are hard and fast and permanent and absolutely never apply. But you do want to go ahead and try and always take everything on a horizontal plane, unless you have a really good reason for taking that photo on a diagonal or something. You never know how you're going to use the photo. And if it's on a diagonal, you might find that you can't use the photo. It might be a great photo, but because it's on a diagonal, it might mess with the lines of your page and throw off your other images and stuff. So always take your pictures on a horizontal or vertical plane, so that and like when I say always, you know that I mean unless you have a really good reason. Because it might limit you, and you don't want to be limited. Then I can actually move this box just by clicking on it once and moving it around. I can also resize the box by going to the corners. As you notice, there's some more of the image that wasn't actually in the photo. And now I've made the box really big, and it's actually bigger than the photo. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure that these little markers are actually on the edges of the photo. But let's say I actually really want to focus on this one girl in the orange whose face I can see. Now, the quality of the photo is determinant of how much I can zoom in. So you always want to make sure that you're taking the highest quality photos that your phone or the camera will allow you to take. You also want to, we call it zoom with your feet. Go as close to your object as you can. If you're taking pictures for a volleyball game or a basketball game or a pep rally or whatever, I want you as close to the action as possible. It will be awkward. Nobody is going to, people might tell you no. People might tell you to back off. All you do is say, I'm so sorry, and you back off. It will be awkward at times when you put yourself in those situations. Do it anyway, guys, because you want the shot. And zooming with your feet, getting as close to the action as is allowed without actually being on the court and getting in trouble because you're, messing with the game or something. Be as close as you can while staying safe and staying within the rules. And there might be times where people tell you to move and you just apologize and get out of the way. If you're ever at a game, you always just ask the refs and the coaches beforehand, what are the allowable areas to be in, because then that way they've already created the expectation with you and they can't be mad at you as long as you're staying inside of their rules. They're going to actually be less irritated because they'll look at you and they'll think, oh, I told him he could be there, so that's all right. So make sure that you keep that in mind before events, that you talk to the officials or the people in charge and ask them where the allowable areas are. Dances, you don't have to worry about that. You can get as close to everybody as you want. But other events, you do have to kind of think about that, and you tend to run into less restrictions from people if you talk to them in advance. So anyway, I want to zoom in on this girl. Let's say I go into inspectors. I would go into image inspector, and let's say I want, for some reason, I don't want her to face that way. I don't like the way it makes my picture look. I can flip her the other way. I can make her look the other way. So that sometimes I find that for some reason the image just isn't balanced, and so you can flip it. Some people get really upset when you do that with certain, you got to be careful if there's words in the picture that can really throw it off. Then I can also adjust. I can actually rotate this picture, and I can actually straighten her. So because this is zoomed in so far, I can do this. If this picture was not zoomed in so far, obviously you can see how I would run into issues in these areas if I was trying to straighten this picture. That's why we always want to be on a horizontal or vertical plane. So now I can actually zoom in further because I have her, and then I'm reaching the limits of the picture. This is as much as the picture can be zoomed in. So that's why it's stopping and not letting me go any further. But I can actually straighten her out, and I can actually, you know, do whatever I want to with her in this box now because I am zoomed in so far. But you can obviously see how if this picture was a different size, it could create issues with trying to rotate this picture and make it fit. So those are some of the things you can do. You can also say, well, I want my frame, I want a nice simple frame. I want it to, let's see, I want a big fat frame. So those are some things you can do. You know, we don't typically use frames that fat. Don't use a frame that fat. That's really ugly. But anyway, you have some ideas of things you can play with. Please have fun with it. And I hope to start seeing y'all putting your ideas on the pages. Also, one last thing. Go into the list and you'll see that there are assignments already on several of the pages. People who were in the meeting this afternoon went ahead and started claiming pages. Any of the pages that you see that are unclaimed, please send me a message on Remind about what pages you would like to claim, and I will add you to the list. Final thing, I am creating a Google Doc for pictures for what for everybody who wants to be assigned to an event, especially paid events, in order to be the official photographers for those events. So be looking for that to come out soon. You guys have an awesome weekend, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.